All right, time to get the stream started. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock here, but we did just have our fallback time, so I'm not sure how that applies everywhere. Let me see here. Set my Discord, Twitch up and running. Get started on this Dark Tower Defense game here in the gdevelop engine. I don't even know what day it is, 37 or something like that. Making some pretty good progress. So gonna get started on, well, actually gonna continue on the skill progression development aspects of it tonight. Storms rolling in, so could lose power, could lose internet and or power. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I need to make this game dev time count for all it's worth. What's it worth? As a part-time game dev, I don't get that much time to actually dedicate to like just true game development, especially as like a content creator kind of guy as well. It's funny how much time it eats up. But I chose it. Okay, I think I'm just about done setting stuff up here. So I've got my water bottle. I'm gonna go fill it up. Good to go. Travis, how you doing, man? Congrats on your promotion. Super congrats. What kind of work do you do, by the way? Nice. Well, promotion, more money, more problems. Hopefully, more money, less problems, huh? All right. So here is where I left off since last time. I need to fix the lights, but we've got the page turn buttons in the game now. And page numbers. So when I click on these buttons, the page numbers go up. And I made sure that when you go to the left, it's not going to go down below page number 1. And so these are going to be for the individual tower. Each pair of pages is going to be a tower ability. So this would be like meteor. The next page would be flamethrower. If this is for the book of fire, this is the book of earth. So the book of earth would be like plant growth. The other one would be like the earth shot. So excuse me. I'm going to start by fixing these lights real quick because they're looking pretty ugly. I think it's because I made these lights into global objects. I might have to make them into local light objects. I'm not totally sure. Let's test it out though. So just jumping straight in here, go with a light. We're going to call it I'll call it light ambient scene, I guess. Radius, let's just say 150 for starters. And let's make that slightly yellow. Then let's duplicate that. I'll call it light, I guess, flicker. And that can be a smaller radius, maybe 50. Apply that. I'm going to drag each of these out here. 150. Currently modding Mass Effect. We're getting some serious lightning. Sweet. What kind of mod? What kind of mod you working on? Drop some screenshots in our Discord. I'm checking the radar real quick. We got a whole line of storms coming through our place. As for our chickens, were basically swimming. They were practically wading in water this past week. We had so much flash flooding here in Oklahoma. But we did not get any tornadoes here, so I can't complain about that. Okay, so for the lighting, let's just test this one out. I'm going to go to the local scene events. And I'm going to, so light flicker, I'm just going to replace this with the scene version. Oh, you're using other people's mods. Gotcha. Yeah, you modded Elder Scrolls 4 and 5. Nice. Well, how are the mods? It's a tower of duct tape and glue. That makes sense. I feel like my life is held together with duct tape and glue sometimes. Okay, I'm going to go to the external event scene, or rather the external layout. I'm going to delete these lights. Let me double check them though. Light ambient. So that is actually set to 500. And 200. Okay, I'm going to remove these. We need our lights to be looking nice and moody. So there should be no light on that, but I'm willing to bet. Yeah, no light there. So, but when we go to this scene, we should have some light up in the corner. Not quite. Let me see here. I want to put one of these on the lighting layer and one on the base layer. So let's see here. Nice, sounds like some good quality of life mods then for Mass Effect. That's nice. I did a lot. I didn't make any for Skyrim, but whenever I use mods for mod packs for Skyrim, I usually do the same kind of mods. Quality of life, generally not changing too much about the game. I'm interested in what makes the ending better, but yeah, I like those quality of life ones. It breathes a little bit of life into the games, doesn't it? Why am I not seeing these lights in my scene? Okay, we are seeing them. Why is it so dark then? Okay, let's make this brighter. So that would be the ambient scene. Let's make that 500. And apply. And I want to see which one is which, so let me play with the values here. Okay, that's a little bit better. That one looks pretty bad, actually. So that one is put on the base layer. Does it look better on the light layer? It's flickering, but it looks really bad. I actually never did really play the Mass Effect games. Not for any reason. It's just that I haven't played them because I was playing other games. I've certainly watched several playthroughs of it, though. And I've got nothing against them whatsoever. Is there a specific one that's your favorite? All right, what are we looking like here? Certainly not happy with this yet. Let me run this with the debugger open. And I'm looking for that. So it is true. It's triggering the event as true, which is good. But it looks like... I wonder how many instances of the light there are. So it looks like we have 4 of each, but only the top left one is actually adjusting. If I click here, will it show me the values? No. I guess that's not a thing it likes to show. So to you, it's all like one long game because of the story. Nice, yeah, that's a little bit rare. A lot of games are pretty episodic, but it's nice to see that it's kind of linear like that. I bet it helps with the immersion. Okay, external events. I think I took out everything regarding the lights in here. Let me double check though. Light. Nothing there. Search it again. Nothing there. Let me look at the instances panel here on the global, on the external layout. Not seeing any lights here either. Okay, let's close that. Yeah, for an RPG to do that, it is pretty rare. And I think I said last week, but I feel like a lot of RPGs are even less about the role-playing aspect of the RPG, the first two letters of the genre. I feel like they don't even do that right, let alone a good story, right? A lot of games are like, well, you have an inventory system, so it must be role-playing. Not quite. I think you're the one who said it's the role-playing aspect is more about being not yourself, being a third person. And I would agree. Okay, let's see, these lights. Still not sure why they are quite so odd. So let's make this 75. I guess it doesn't really matter what I set that to, it's going to change, but over here in the events, yeah, exactly, you're not your character. I was playing some D&D last night with my crew, and I have like this necromancer guy, and he has like some legendary pauldrons that tied into his character background, and they allow him to basically summon what would be the equivalent of like a mech suit of armor, which is a big giant skeleton that he controls. And then my buddy is some sort of a druid, so he had this bug swarm. So the icon for his person was a hand, what looked like a human hand, except made of bugs. And when he dropped the bug swarm to go back to his druid form, he was reminding us, I am not my hand. And that reminded me that you are not the sum of your body parts, you are more than that. I feel like that's what an RPG is. Mass Effect makes it more of an action shooter because you are the one aiming the gun. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Light flicker scene. Light flicker scene. Okay, so I think the issue here is where I have the timer placed. So what I'm going to do is drag, I'm going to pull a little swap-a-roo here. I'm going to repeat for each instance of the light. Then I'm going to check if the timer has reached its point in time. Then and I think up here I need another one of these too. So let me copy this, paste it up here as a sub-event of at the beginning of the scene. Just like this. This should fix our lighting. Let's take a quick look. Take a little peek. Not quite. Okay, so that's really odd. Let me see if these are actually in the scene. So that is the ambient light. This is the flicker light. I'm going to pull those actually into the scene. I'm very confused why I'm not seeing those. What layer are these on? Lighting, lighting, lighting. So in the debugger then, if I hit refresh, what is their location? So those are these. So 12.8, 23.701. It might be a Z order issue. So let's try this. Repeat for each instance of the lights. So wait, where am I? Yeah, this. So for the flicker light, let's catch up on chat here. When you play the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind versus playing Oblivion or Skyrim, when you swing your weapon, a dice roll is made to see if your character hits. That's the distinction. Oh, yeah. You lost track of time. Did you miss anything? Well, Travis, the Crinsada, got promoted this week, so we're celebrating that. Kudos to him. Moving forward. And in terms of, did you miss anything? It's kind of storming here, so I'm hoping I don't lose internet and or power, or the stream might get cut short randomly. If it does, I'll let y'all know in the Discord. Secondly, I just wanted to know how your week's been, Blaze. And I'm going to change the Z order of each one of these lights. I'm going to put it on, I think, value. Can't remember if I need like 0, but we're going to test this out. That didn't seem to work. Let's try. In fact, let me double check something here. Gdevelop Z order. Just trying to remember. You ate pizza yesterday. That's pretty big news. Pretty big news indeed. Snowing heavily. In fact, some of my D&D buddies moved to Colorado Springs. I know they're getting a lot of snow. Okay, so I need to actually make this a... It's pretty odd. Did I put the... It shouldn't be a Z order issue though. What? Because it's on a different layer. So this thing is on a base layer. And the other one seems to be showing. It's always like weird, dumb things like this that you don't expect to be a problem, but then they are. What happens if I just copy and paste a few of these out? Will they show up? They do. Okay, well, I'm just going to use those. Just stick these here in the corners for now. And move forward. See what that's looking like. Okay, so whatever I just did there messed it up again. It doesn't snow where you live. Well, do you like snow or do you not like snow? So is that a good thing or a bad thing for you? We get medium snow where I live. It depends on the season. We get more ice than snow, actually. It's a bad thing. Yeah, you're gonna have to move either way north or way south. Okay, so this is the weirdest thing. Let me see here. So I just copied this one, pasted it out a few times, and it worked. It seems like if I move it into the light radius of those other ones, it doesn't work. What happens if I delete those? And then move these to the corners? It works. Okay. Very odd. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the radius to a larger radius. So I'm going to say from, I don't even know, 400 to 450 and see what that looks like. This is annoying. I swear. Because the top one's behaving differently from the others. And it's kind of hard to see there with the chat and stuff, but the top corner here is a little bit different. No matter, I'm not going to spend all night just on these. It's good enough. What I do want to do is... Oh, actually I am realizing something here. I have two different layers for lights. So the top one is on the light layer. Then there's a lighting layer. Check this out. So now they're at least on the same page, literally. Whenever you search Corey Bond Game Dev, my channel appears, but after you scroll, there's another channel with the name Corey Bond. Is that a coincidence? Is the other Corey Bond channel, is that like a male model type of channel? Because I've seen that before. In which case it would be a coincidence. I'm going to add some more of these out here. Need a little more light. There's a channel with 3 videos and 6 subscribers. That doesn't sound like one of mine, but that's pretty funny. Travis says the game you're making has strength, vitality, charisma, dex, intel, perception, wisdom, and luck. Yeah, those sound pretty solid. How are you going to implement the luck? How does that affect your game? Luck affects absolutely everything in a small way. If a sword does 10 damage for every 5 points of luck above 20, it will add 1 damage. And it will add 1% to the accuracy of the attack as well. Nice. Yeah, that's going to be... It's those kinds of like small tweaks that really like kind of make or break a game's balance that I've been putting a lot of thought into lately for my game as well. So it'll be interesting once you are able to really test all of those out and see. I mean, I think that it seems like for your more narrative driven game, there would be balance. It might be balance in a way that's more straightforward than say maybe a faster paced like strategy game, but it'll be interesting. It's just I'm just kind of thinking out loud. All right, we're gonna just use these lights for now, and I think we're in pretty good shape here. So we've got the page numbers working. And here, is a sneak peek at how I'm going to do upgrades in this game real quick. So this is going to be, I've got 4 areas where you kind of upgrade stuff. Let me see if I can scroll to the left. So what we're doing right now, these are the tower ability upgrades, which is this upper right section. So these are tower specific, like the fire tower, the earth tower, and each of those has different abilities. So each of those abilities will occupy one of these pairs of pages. And they can be upgraded using scrolls that you obtain within the game. So it's going to be like a loot object. And so there's like knowledge points. So you learn, your character kind of learns about these abilities, gains knowledge, gains hands-on practice with them. So it's going to be tower-based experience, if you want to call it XP. Then there's also going to be generic XP, which can be used for like leveling up your character that you probably won't ever see. And then that's going to be for tower agnostic abilities, such as like luck or, drop rates. things like that. Your game's an action RPG, a true RPG, because your skills do not determine the skills of your character. You can't wait to absolutely break my game. Yeah, I hope it's going to become breakable. I just played another game. I just did a demo because George with Minimap Gaming, whatever they call it, I did a review for a game that they had a key for, and it was let me go over to it. It was kind of a breakable game as well. I didn't think that it would be when I started it, but it gave me a couple of ideas for some of these upgrade concepts. So it was this one. Let me pull it up real quick here. Wait for the ad to pass. So this video, and it was another ad. That game, Slime 3K Rise Against Despot, and it's kind of a top-down roguelite shooter, wave defense game, and the numbers kind of scale in such a ridiculous way that it's kind of like intentionally broken. And this is where I died. So it just kind of cracked me up, and it makes me want to make my game very breakable in a good way. You found an image for your next meme. Post it, man. Post the meme. The meme waves have been a little on the quiet side lately. So I'm going to add a loot object right now just because I feel like it. And to do that, I'm going to grab... let me go into Canva, I think. Just going to put a little scroll into the game. All right, so there's that, and I'm just going to export that as is. Just as a PNG, we're going to do transparent background, do not compress it. Hit the old download button, and let me think. I guess at the moment I'll just start with that. So this loot object needs to be... First of all, I need some global variables to hold how many of those have been obtained. So I'm going to go to global variables. I'm going to add, I'll say, global, and what am I calling these? I guess it's going to be one for each element. Actually, that's not where I put it. Is that right? What is this visible 2, invisible 3? What in the world are those? Okay, I'm just going to do this then. So it would be like knowledge scrolls earth. And then it would be like knowledge scrolls fire, that kind of thing. Starting at 0 because we haven't collected any. I'm going to go to the in-game scene. And then go to those events. And basically anytime an enemy dies, they have a chance of dropping one. And for now, I'll just do a very basic chance, like 1 in 4 or something. All right, so right here, if enemy is dead, I'm going to create a loot object. So I need to create the object actually to be able to drop it. So right here, under scene objects, let me close the global objects, add object, sprite, not the drink, we'll call it knowledge scroll, and add an animation, add a sprite, and I'm curious about the actual size. How big is this? We are talking really big. So actually I need to cut down on some of the excess size here. Let's see, I could maybe do that here. This isn't the best editor. I need to use a real editor probably. Something like that. Then I come over here and let's go to resize. Resize the, let's see, actually, what would that be? About 471 by 679. Okay, so there's that. Let's hit save. And then, for now, I'll just leave it like that. I'll call this first one, I guess, fire, because it's red. Obviously, I'd want to scale that way down. So we could do like, when the enemy dies, we're going to create one of those scrolls. We'll create that at the enemy's location. Center X. And center Y. On the base layer, we'll say OK. Let's move that up. And then we're going to take that thing and we're going to scale it. So go back to the scroll. And let's go to scale. We'll set that to, I don't know, 0.1, pretty small. Let's just see, so at this point it should happen for every single enemy that dies. I need to, do I have a tower that actually kills things at the moment? I've disabled a lot of damage for testing reasons, but let me see. I think I have something that kills. The moon tower? Oh, I see. Something happened here. It deprecated some of my events. A little bit odd. Let me see. That's supposed to be a the variable local random sound. Why did that change? So this is an issue due to an update that was made. And the issue is a local variable I declared to hold a sound file for whenever that piece of parchment is opened. So that would be, I need to redeclare the variable. Local random sound. I think I misspelled it. Local random sound. I used snake or camel case. There we go. Fixed it. All right, you posted it. Let's take a look. At first I saw the top of the shark before I saw the big face. I saw the shark first. I guess I was fearing for my life. What did you see first? Let's go ahead and save this. And then we're gonna go to I guess enemy and let's do enemies and flame tower. So the flame tower should destroy enemies. Let's test that out. You saw the shark and then the face? Yeah, I think a lot of people probably do. It's interesting, huh? Okay, we're getting some scrolls, but I'm also getting a lot of other bugs. Not sure about those other bugs, but I am getting the scrolls. So I want to do something else so we can collect them up. So I guess I'll go down below. I'm going to say if you click on one of them, you basically pick it up. I'll just put it way down here. So let's do a new event, Shift A, drag that upward, add a comment. We'll call it scrolls. Let's change the color of that thing. Let's do maybe sort of a toasty orange. So let's do a check for how many of these are on the scene. If there are some on the scene, so if greater than 0, then we'll do a for each. For each one of those. And we'll do a check for the cursor. If the cursor or touch is on an object, on the scroll, then I'm going to add some sub-events. The first one will be to delete the scroll. Copy this event and just paste it right there. So scroll, we will delete. And then also, right, cursor or touch. No, we don't want to delete it there. We want to do, if the cursor or touch is on it, then we'll highlight it. So we actually need to add an effect to it real quick. So let's do effect. Yeah, outline is fine. Let's do it, make it slightly golden. Small thickness is fine, and we'll call that outline. Apply. So by default, if the cursor touches on there, then we will go to the scroll and we will enable the effect of outline. Oh, not that. Right here, outline. Yes. Which also means we need to go to the very top and make sure that's disabled by default. Actually, no, we need to do, let's go to enemy depth. You miss random stat rolls in RPGs. Everything just uses point by now, making all characters the same. Yeah, that's definitely true. We do a lot of point pumping, and so it's like at the higher tiers, pretty much all the different characters look and feel the same, right? Yeah, I get that. It's a bit of a pain point. For sure. Let's go down to the death of the enemies here. Oh, here's another local thing that got messed up. So here, let's add another local variable. This will be local random sound apply. There we go. Everyone's a min-maxer these days. D&D is now just point buy. You grew up with AD&D. Yeah, it's interesting. And honestly, whenever I level up my guy in my game, wherever possible, I kind of go the route of I pick a feat, because at least those are like, it's not like a flat upgrade in like a specific stat. It's more like an ability, which to me seems a little more character driven. I mean, you know, there's obviously no absolute right or wrong way, but I do like them to feel custom. And not every game, especially D&D, it's not really about the min-maxing, is it? Yeah, so I kind of want to show you, because last night the thing that I did, the thing I did was part of a legendary, it's very character driven, lore driven piece of equipment that he had that enabled this ability, where he became this, he was able to kind of navigate this giant skeletal mech suit. And here it is. Let me move this chat for you guys here for a second. So this is straight from last night. So this big giant skeleton guy, this is my token. And my little elf, half human, half elf guy is supposedly driving that shell. And he has some pretty cool abilities, you know, like there's a necrotic reeve where he can scratch and get some life steal, and he can throw a rib, but he can only throw a couple before he collapses himself. So super cool, pretty tough. Definitely gained some extra HP by using him. Because even if he's one shot, my character just goes back to his normal self and whatever HP he had to begin with. But it wasn't necessarily like the most OP thing. It was just super fun. And so if I was going for like min-maxing in this particular scenario, I would have just stayed as my necromancer and done like a high level spell or a set of spells. But this thing was so fun to play that it trumped min-maxing in every sense of the word. And of course the reaction it got, because my fellow players didn't know he even had this ability either. So it was so fun. Okay, I forgot where I was going. I'm looking for the enemy death section. Alright, enemy movement and death. So if enemy is dead, create the scroll. And this is where I want to disable the outline effect. So it's not automatically highlighted. Let's test this out. So flame tower, call in the enemies. Get a scroll to drop. Okay, so they're automatically deleting, and I know exactly why. Let's go back down to the bottom here. So then we'll say if mouse button released and or touch. So if the left mouse button or touch is released on the scroll, then delete it. So otherwise it should just highlight the scroll. Okay, we have a scroll here. And it did highlight, but it's staying highlighted. So I need to disable that, but now if I click on it, it disappeared, which is a good thing. So all right, I know how to fix this. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it. Actually, not that. Let me add a couple of sub events. I'm gonna move this down here. Just like this. And then if the, let's see, delete that one, duplicate this one, and then invert it and say no. So if the cursor or touch is on the scroll, let me see if I can check for an effect here. I don't know if I can. If the effect is enabled, outline. Okay, so yes, I can. Paste that here. So if the outline is not already enabled, then enable it. If the cursor is not on the scroll and the outline is enabled, then disable it. That's what we want. Let's try this again. Let me check the radar as well. Getting some rain, nothing too crazy here. All right, there's a scroll. Looks like the outline effect is working properly. Now when I click on it, it should collect. So now I'm going to add a couple of things to the scene. I want to add a counter to see how many we've collected. And I'm just going to do this as a scene variable. And then a text object to show the variable. So let's do a text object. I'll just grab, let's see here. Under UI, text objects. And we'll do let's see, current wave text. I'll just duplicate this one out. I'll call it text. I'll say scrolls collected. The initial text to display will say, I'll just say scrolls. Apply. Let's drag this out onto the scene as well. Okay, and then I need a scene variable. We'll call it scrolls collected. Apply. So then in the events, let's go back to the enemy death section. scroll right here. Actually, it's not there, is it? It's back down below. Let's scroll down to the scroll section. Okay. So right here, when you click on it, it's going to delete the scroll, but we also want to modify the variable. Change variable value. Scrolls collected. We'll set that to add 1 and hit OK. Then we'll want to update that text object, which would be text. Let's see. Text scrolls collected. Set the text to scrolls plus, we'll do to string scrolls collected. This really should probably be round. Let me see. So if I don't do round, we might get decimal points, and we don't want that. Decimal points don't taste very nice, does they, precious? Not very nice at all. Alrighty. I think this is gonna work. Let's try it. Yeah, let's try it. Oh, my scrolls text has a different color. I kind of like that. All right, something die. Why do they all have so much life? And they're all bugging out. Oh man, something just happened. Right, here's one. So if I click on it, it added to the scrolls. Click on this one. In fact, if I enable my mouse click software, you can see when I click. All right, let's call in some more enemies here. Here are some more. Click on those. Okay, I'm getting a lot of bugs here with the enemies. Yeah, it's kind of odd that minimap's not here. Let's see. He sent me a message about an hour ago. I guess he's just a busy man. Busy man. You three are my OGs in my Discord. Okay, I feel like I've got some bugs going on with the enemies. I wasn't really wanting to work on those tonight, but let me see. What I was really wanting to do is track how many scrolls have been collected in general, but I think I want them to be specific to the element types. So I'll need to figure out how I want to implement that exactly. But the idea will be over in this scene, probably in this scene, it would show how many of a particular scroll that you have. So I could turn that scroll thingy into, maybe I can duplicate it out and turn it into like a global object. And yeah, so let me go here to the scene, grab the scroll. I'm gonna duplicate it. Also, I'll call it global knowledge scroll. I'll say global icon knowledge scroll. Okay, and then I'm going to make that an actual global object. Okay, so now if I come to the external layout, I should be able to drag that out here. Wish I could scale it without distorting it. Like holding Alt or something. I wish that was something that was... Let me see here. Because I could obviously scale it here, but I don't want to ruin it. I might just have to do this like... Might have to do it programmatically. So if I go into external events skill book, then at the beginning of the scene, I would say, let me add a comment here. This would be for I guess scroll, and I would say to adjust the scale. I don't know what we'll set it to. Let's try 0.25. Say okay. Maybe 0.2. And let's see what that looks like. See if it worked at all. Okay, it did work. So what I would do there is basically put like a big X next to it. So I could do a text object, which would be like, let me just duplicate one of these. I'll call it text scroll count. Something like that. Then, wait, is that there? So if I go to the external layouts, that should be here too. Yeah. So this one, not sure where I want to put that. So I'll probably say something like, let's see, text scroll count. I would want the words to say, I guess like X or something. Say apply. This is gonna look pretty goofy. So for the scroll, we change the scale. Then we're going to create the scroll count. And we're going to set this to... let's see, I gotta think. B... I... plus... I guess I want an X. Maybe just put the X right here. X space... and then plus, and then here I would do a probably a number, but I'll just say, like, let's put 24 for example. In fact, that probably needs to be in quotations. I'll come back and change that to a global variable. 24 plus, and then I would add just the closing brackets as well. So close the bold, close the italics. I think I actually want drop shadow as well, so I would do shadow equals black. And then over here on the right, I would say slash shadow and close out the bold. See if that, what am I missing here? See if that works. Give this a test. Oh, I didn't tell it where to create it. It'd probably help if I actually added the object. So let's do create the object at the position of scroll. Is there a bounding box on this scroll icon? There should be. Let's do scroll dot bounding box right. We'll say plus. I'm not exactly sure. We'll say 20. And then for the Y position, we'll just say center Y. On the base layer, maybe it needs to be on the UI layer. Not sure. Let's give this a quick test. Okay. Wherever it is, I'm not seeing it, and there's also a big scroll still stuck there. Why is there a big one? I could definitely move that one off the scene. And then let me double check. Better yet, let's just remove this one entirely, and in the external events we'll create one. Create the object, and I don't even know, let me double check where we want this. Probably at like 1060 115. 1060 115. Let's see if that works any better. All right, Travis, you have a good night as well. Good luck with your newfound promotion and position, and more power to you, my friend. And I'll be talking to you soon about maybe some of the plotline as well. So have a good one. Okay, this is not quite what I want. Create the object, change the scale to 0.2, 1060, 115. Oh, I'm realizing the issue. I selected, this is supposed to be the text. Yeah, okay. Let's stop being dumb here. So there's the text object. Where'd the scroll go? Create the object scroll at position 1060, 115 on the base layer. What happens if I put that on the UI layer? Is that gonna help? It will help a little. Does that work over here on this scene as well? It does. All right. I think I also don't want the... I don't want that to have that effect. I want it to have more of a drop shadow. We'll say about like that. Say apply. And as for that X thingy, let me see here. I think 0.2 is still slightly too large. Let's do 0.18. And then for the Y position of the text object, I'll say Y, and then I'll say minus like I don't even know right now. 50, 20. I'm just kind of hard coding some numbers here. That seems to work pretty well. Let's also move it slightly to the left. So instead of plus 20, maybe I don't even need any plus. You don't know what to say? Well, you know what time it is then. You need to not say anything. You need to type with your eyes closed. And Blaze, you better get it right. Show us your skills. You got this. Okay, I think this is working. And then this would have a number. So let's just create the global variable. I'm going to call it... I need to change all of these from the word global to just GLB. Global. I'll just say scrolls count. And I'm going to set that to like 123 and say apply. Then this text object is going to reflect not the number 24, but instead it's going to be it'll be to string round, and then it will be GLB scrolls count with 2 parentheses. And hit OK. Let's see if that worked. That did not work. What am I doing here? This was written with my eyes closed. So how did I do? I meant to say that. That was perfect. You nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. We're supposed to be getting a number here after the little X. So at the beginning of the scene, in fact, yeah, that should be there. So toString round global scrolls count. Let me run this scene again with the debugger open. So Blaze, do you have any plans for the weekend? You just chilling? I refresh this and then I'm going to look at the global variable. Yeah, George should be showing up anytime. Just chilling? That's good, man. That is good. Global scrolls count. It's at 123. So, does it show what the text value is? I'll be right back. I need a drink, and I'm gonna think about what I did wrong. Let me make this book bigger. Hey Blaze, can you make me a picture? Hold on a second. So you made this, right? Can you make me one of these, kind of like this, but with sort of a... you know, it's sort of like a tower, kind of like in this shape, like just a general shape, basically like a column. Like any one of these. Because I'm trying to think of like some why is my chat not scrolling? Yeah, I can send you some references. Why is my chat not updating? Yeah, I'm just... So what I'm thinking is, and you don't have to do this, just if you're bored, is I want some just general art, like some splash screens to show in between, you know, when you're navigating around the game. So it'd be like concept art, right? So I'll show you kind of what I mean. Let me open up my Steam page here. Or maybe even just, if I go to Gemcraft. So this game, as an example, this is just a tower defense game. So the in-game art looks like this. It's just top-down 2D art, very basic kind of. But it has concept art. Go away. But it has concept art like this, which is more artsy, you know. And it's actually in perspective, kind of like your tree. Your tree is in this perspective, which I like. And I'm trying to find another example. They have some other examples here in the game. Let me see. Might be best to actually open it up real quick. Oh, here it is. Let me just open it up real quick. I'll show you what I mean. And don't worry, if I use this in the game, I'll put your name in the credits as well. So here's kind of another example on this opening screen. So this is in perspective, like you're standing there looking forward, right? So in this case, you have a background with like a forest and a mountain. And these are really just basic shapes, kind of like your tree. So you can kind of see the similarity here, right? So you could almost take your tree and just plop it out there next to those other ones. So when you gave this to me, I started thinking about the concept art. And I'm trying to think of some ideas where maybe I have like a tower and, you know, maybe there are a couple of trees around it, that kind of thing. So maybe if I click on, like, say, new game. Actually, any specific resolutions? I would say 720 by 1280. In fact, let me double check. I'm pretty sure that's correct. 1280 by 720. I got it backwards. All right, I'll be right back. Of course, George shows up the moment I step away. Good to see you tonight, man. We were just wondering where you were. No, I basically reached the point where I can stream without even being present, so it's sort of an automated streaming as a service that I've implemented for myself. It makes my life easier. Don't have to be here. Yeah, we're doing well, man. Travis already stepped away, but we were just celebrating his promotion at work today, so or at least this week. So kudos to him. I'm looking forward to reviewing some of those games too. Thanks for providing the keys. Yeah, super congrats to him. I think he's already out of the chat, but if he watches this back, he'll see this. All right, so I was in the middle of. I've been calling him by his other handle, which is Blaze, because it's easier to pronounce. But he's been working on some concept art for me. So do you prefer, which handle do you prefer? Which name do you prefer? Because I was trying to pronounce Anik the other day, and you said I wasn't getting it right. My pronunciation is pretty terrible. All right, let's see if my book is still looking good here. I'm trying to fix a little variable should be showing up here, but it's not. So I think what I'll do is for that scroll. Oh, you like both? I like Blaze. Blaze is catchy. It goes well. All right, I'm going to move some of these events over to I guess to the other thing. So let me see if I can move them all together. Go to the scene events and then paste them up here. George, you've been pretty busy. How's your week been, man? All right, so this goes up here, this goes here. Let's see if this helps. Probably not. It did not. All right, perfect. Why is it not showing? So it's showing the X that I have here. Then it should also add this variable set to a string at the beginning of the scene. What I could do is, maybe I'll add like a little upgrade button or something. Let me duplicate this one. I'll call it button, I guess upgrade. Let me just drag this out here somewhere. Doesn't really matter, I'm gonna change it. Let me change the name in here to, I don't know, just like a plus or something. Hit apply. And then we'll say, so that's button upgrade. We'll say, you've been doing quite well. You done with clouds? Oh, you made some clouds. Doing quite well, just tired and ready for the weekend. I feel you, man. We are almost there. That's kind of why I like Thursday night, because then I've just got one more work day left. I know I can do it. You know, kudos to everyone who has to work on the weekends, because you make life functional for the rest of us slackers who get the weekends off. All right, we're gonna say if the button upgrade is clicked, then we're gonna modify a global variable. Say variable. I did get a Twitch going, so I'm dual streaming out to Twitch now too. It's the wavelengths have been pretty quiet over there, but one of these days I'm gonna figure out all of this multi-social media management, and it's kind of exhausting. I normally don't even post status updates. I used to do Instagram, like just pictures on Instagram, but I haven't done like daily posts in years, like, you know, whether it was on Facebook back in the day or saying, you know, here's what I'm doing today. So having to do that for my game now is it's a bit of a learning curve for me. It's more of a habit. Rather than learning, it's more of a habit development. But I'm getting there. Global variable. GLB. And that lightning is going. We'll just say subtract by 1. Okay. Yeah, man, it should be the same name on all of them. So it should be Corey. Let me see here. Because on Instagram, on TikTok, it should all just be Corey Bond Studios. Or Corey with like underscores in between the names. I need to follow you on those as well. Is Minimap on... How many platforms is Minimap on? And also, Quest Unplayed. Are those both on all the platforms? All right, so when this happens, I'm going to change the text of the object. So it'll say basically this. Let's see if that worked. It's working. I don't know why it doesn't work at the beginning of the scene. That's kind of odd, but the number is now changing. So for example, if I'm upgrading an ability over here in the book, it's going to spend these scroll currencies. Excuse me. And that seems to be working just fine. So that's good. Maybe a little hard to see with the black. I could add a light there. See what that looks like. Maybe slightly better. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So I don't know why it's not updating at the very start. But I think I know a workaround. I'm gonna try adding an event right here. And I'll just say, add a comment. I'll just say set scroll text, or maybe I'll just say text because we might have other types. And then move this. I guess move it down here. But what I need is a scene variable. What is this? Test book scene. So test book scene needs to be here. Edit scene variables. We're going to add text scroll count set. That will be a Boolean. Started out as false. And then we're going to check that right here. So variable value, text, scroll count set. If that is false, then we do the thing, and then we set that variable to true right here. Set that to true, okay? Let's see if it likes that. Not quite. For some reason, you decided to make it rainy. Is that okay? Oh, all right. I'll talk to you when you get back. All right, well, since I pulled this into its own scene, I can at least run a logic check and see if it's even coming out as true. I mean, it seems to be because it's creating the icon. Right. So odd that that works down here, but not there. What if I... move this stuff up here, the actual scroll. Run another test. Still not working. Yeah, so it's not updating that text at all, actually. That's interesting. Very interesting. So this has something to do with the behavior of the global text object. So let me search something here. Gdevelop global text. Let's just see. Yeah, someone else had this issue as well. It's not just me. Yeah, we can check the debugger. It's never a bad idea. So, refresh this, go to text scroll count. Better yet, look at the global variable. Yeah, so the global variable is 123, but the text scroll count Debugging. Okay, not 100% sure about this, so I might just have to wait and troubleshoot that later. So, what can we do then? I've got... It updates once I perform an action, like click the button. What if I do... What if I update the global variable with its own value? Kind of psych it out. So let's try that. I've never done that before. Not intentionally. So we'll do global scrolls count is assigned itself. Let's see if that counts as an update. And then we'll change the text object. No, didn't trick it. You know what the problem is? And I think I'm looking at it right here. Those are in the wrong order. My goodness. It was that simple. We fixed it, people. It was that simple. Alrighty, that is now working. So, making pretty good progress here. Pretty good progress. Let me check the radar as well, see if we're getting any hail. Not at the moment. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a wrap for the evening. So, because I'm at a pretty good pausing point. So what we've done tonight is we've added a loot object into the game. So these scrolls will now drop from enemies. It's very crudely implemented, but it's implemented. And they're going to be tower or element type specific. And that loot will be displayed here under the book skill upgrade menus. And we got the global variable updating, so when you spend your points, you can see how many you have remaining. So, and did a bunch of behind the scenes kind of optimization. We got some of the lights working better. So pretty good progress. So I am going to go, and thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, I hope you have fewer bugs than I do. Thanks.